That eerie sound you're hearing, that's Saturn itself, literally screaming into the void, hiding pure chaos behind its beauty. For centuries, Saturn looked like a perfect golden jewel. But behind that beauty lies something darker, violent, and deeply unsettling. Saturn's true nature, violent gas giant. Saturn may look serene from afar, but its atmosphere is home to intense jets, massive storms, and weather unlike anything we experience on Earth. Not even close. It's a violent, spinning monster. What we're looking at is basically a massive ball of hydrogen and helium. No solid ground, no surface to stand on, just endless pressure and chaos. And it doesn't sit still either. Saturn spins insanely fast, so fast that it actually flattens itself. Not a perfect sphere, more like a squashed pumpkin drifting in space. And inside that atmosphere, it's not calm clouds, it's stormy. Constant raging storms tear through layers of gas, building pressure, releasing energy in ways we still don't fully understand. It looks peaceful from far away, sure, smooth, quiet, almost harmless. But that's the trap, because the closer you imagine getting, the more it starts to feel wrong, like something pretending to be calm while hiding something violent underneath. Have you ever seen something that looked beautiful, but just felt off? The rings, a cosmic grinder. But wait, this is the part that really messes with your head. Those iconic rings, the ones that make Saturn look elegant, almost perfect? Yeah, they're anything but peaceful. From Earth, they look smooth, clean, like solid golden bands wrapping around the planet. Almost unreal, but if you were actually there, flying through them, you wouldn't see beauty, you'd see chaos. The rings are a storm, a brutal, endless storm of ice and rock. Tiny grains smashing into chunks the size of mountains, all moving at insane speeds. Thousands of kilometers per hour, no order, no gaps, just constant collisions, cracking, shattering, reforming again and again. And the scale, it's ridiculous. Nearly 300,000 kilometers wide, yet so thin in places it's almost hard to believe. Like a blade stretched across space. One wrong move in there, and you're gone, instantly shredded. It looks like art from a distance, but up close, it's a grinder. So the question is, would you still call it beautiful if you actually had to go through it? Origin of the rings, destroyed moon. And this is where it turns dark, because those rings didn't just form, they came from something dying. The leading theory? A moon wandered too close to Saturn, maybe something massive, maybe even something alive in its own way. And then it crossed a line, the Roche limit. That's the point of no return. Once it crossed it, Saturn's gravity didn't just pull, it tore. It ripped the moon apart piece by piece. Crust, core, everything shredded into fragments. No explosion, no escape, just slow, violent destruction. And those fragments, they didn't disappear. They stayed, trapped in orbit. What we admire today as beautiful rings are actually the scattered remains of that destroyed world. A graveyard, frozen in motion, every shard of ice, every spinning rock. It's part of something that used to exist. So next time you look at Saturn's rings, ask yourself this: are you looking at beauty or the aftermath of a cosmic murder? The hexagon storm, Saturn's eye. And just when you think Saturn can't get any stranger, you look at its North Pole, because sitting there locked in place is something that shouldn't exist. A perfect hexagon, not a circle, not a swirl, a six-sided shape. Now here's the problem. Nature doesn't usually do that. Fluids don't form straight edges, storms don't follow geometry, but Saturn doesn't care about the rules. This thing is a hurricane, a massive, spinning system large enough to swallow multiple Earths whole. And it's not shallow either. It sinks deep into the planet's atmosphere, stretching down into layers we can't even fully see. And right in the center, there's a vortex, dark, red, and unsettling, like an eye staring back at you. It's been there for decades, maybe longer, just spinning, unchanging. No one fully understands why it holds its shape. And honestly, That's the part that makes it worse, because it doesn't feel natural. It feels deliberate. The Great White Spot, planetary storm cycle. But Saturn doesn't stay quiet for long, because every few decades it explodes. Roughly every 30 Earth years, something called the Great White Spot appears. And when it does, it takes over everything. This isn't just a storm, it wraps around the entire planet. Imagine a thunderstorm covering Earth from end to end. That's what we're dealing with. And the lightning? It's not normal lightning. It's thousands of times more powerful than anything we've seen here. Deep inside, ammonia clouds get dragged upward, bursting through the surface and turning Saturn pale, almost ghost-like. For a moment, the calm disappears, and the chaos underneath shows itself. Which makes you wonder, how much of Saturn's violence is still hiding, waiting for its turn? Titan, toxic Earth-like world, and then Saturn pulls the biggest illusion of all. Out there orbiting this chaos is Titan, a world that at first glance looks strangely familiar. Thick atmosphere, even denser than Earth's. You'd stand there and actually feel pressure around you. Look around, and you'd see rivers, lakes, clouds are forming in the sky, rain falling. It almost feels like home. But then it hits you, none of it is water. Those rivers, liquid methane. Those lakes, ethane, natural gas, flowing like water in slow motion because of the low gravity and freezing temperatures, around minus 179 degrees Celsius. Nothing here behaves the way it should. Even the ground isn't normal. Those massive dunes stretching for miles, they're made of hydrocarbon particles, basically plastic-like grains, charged and shifting in the wind. It's familiar, but wrong. Like Earth, rewritten with toxic chemistry. A world that looks alive, but is built from ingredients that would kill you instantly. A twisted reflection. So if you landed there, would your brain trust what your eyes are seeing? Enceladus, ocean beneath ice. And just when it feels like Saturn is all death and destruction, something unexpected shows up. A tiny bright moon called Enceladus. At first it looks harmless, just a frozen ball of ice. Nothing special. But then you see the cracks, deep fractures across its surface, what scientists call tiger stripes. And from those cracks, it erupts. Massive geysers blast water vapor hundreds of kilometers into space. Not slowly, violently, constantly. That shouldn't be happening in a frozen world. But Saturn's gravity is pulling and squeezing this moon, generating heat deep inside, enough to keep something hidden beneath the surface. Liquid water, a global ocean, and not just water, salt, heat, and organic molecules. The exact ingredients life needs. Somewhere under that thick ice and total darkness, something could exist. We came here expecting lifeless rock. But what if this is where life is quietly surviving? Cassini mission, the final sacrifice. But uncovering all this came at a cost. For 13 years, the Cassini-Huygens spacecraft stayed with Saturn, watching, studying, sending back everything it could. It became our only voice in that distant system, but eventually, it started running out of fuel, and that created a problem. If Cassini lost control, it could crash into moons like Enceladus or Titan, places that might hold life, contaminate them, ruin everything. So NASA made a brutal decision. They chose to end it. In 2017, Cassini was sent straight into Saturn's atmosphere, a controlled fall, no escape. As it descended, it kept transmitting data, signals, right up until the very last second. Then the pressure hit, the heat, and just like that, it was gone, destroyed, vaporized D. Now it's not exploring Saturn anymore. It's part of it. Death of the rings, temporary beauty. And here's the final twist. Those dazzling rings aren't forever. From a distance, they look eternal, shimmering bands that have captivated human imagination for centuries. But up close, their brilliance belies a quiet, unstoppable drain. Gravity is slowly pulling them down, bit by bit, in a process scientists call ring rain. Tiny particles of ice and rock spiral inward, drawn by Saturn's immense pull, crashing into its atmosphere and disappearing without fanfare. It's not sudden, it's not explosive. It's a slow fade, like embers cooling in the dark. Over time, hundreds of millions of years, those rings will thin until they are gone, completely vanished. A blink in cosmic time, yes, but long enough to remind us of something unsettling. Even the most iconic beauty can be temporary. What we've treasured as one of the most spectacular sights in the solar system is not a permanent masterpiece. It's a fleeting phenomenon. Those sparkling bands that have mesmerized humanity from Earth and thrilled every spacecraft that's passed by are slipping away, falling into the very planet they orbit. And one day, far in the future, Saturn will look like any other lonely gas giant drifting in space. No rings, no halo, just a silent, colossal sphere in the void. When that happens, the sight that once inspired awe will be nothing more than a memory, a breathtaking illusion that vanishes with time. Saturn's beauty is a trap, a fleeting masterpiece hiding chaos, danger, and decay. It humbles us, reminds us how small we are. So what do you see when you look at it? Wonder or warning? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you love this, hit like and subscribe.